Good evening. Welcome to HBCU Delaware Talks. I guess you've noticed that I'm a Norfolk State University alumni simply because Marching Spartan Legion, always exciting to watch them. If you notice, they even have their movement and everything. But anyway, welcome and thank you for allowing we, to be in your living room tonight talking about some good old HBCU things and good old things that happen here in Wilmington, Delaware, and just honoring our people that's doing great jobs and thanking them for doing what they do. First and foremost, Wilmington, I really want to just humble myself and have just a moment of silence for what's going on in Charlottesville, what has happened there, and some of the crime that goes or happens here in Wilmington. So I'm just going to pause for a second to just think about the families and just pray and bless the families and let them know that we're there for them, for all of this, and so we can get out of some of this crime. We got to do it. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you. A lot of things going on, you know, and schools come. It's about time for the kids to go back to school. My wife says thank God for that, but that means it's time for me to go back to school, and the kids are going back to school, and we just want them to have a great school year in light of what goes on. But even before that, let's talk about some of the things that happened this summer. How was your summer, Mr. Magic, by the way? And before you even begin to talk, I'm going to ask that you introduce the Higher Heights Track Club, because you do a whole lot in the community, and we thank you for sharing off the magic with us, because your vision is awesome, and I see a lot of growth in a lot of our athletes. My wife, she ran track under your time when you were coaching. So, and she even ended up going to college, and that's what it's all about. So I'm thanking you for that first and foremost. So, without further ado, Mr. Arthur Madrick's here with Higher Heights Track Club. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us on this evening. Just like to say this is our second year and with the program, and we have some awesome people here that's working alongside of me and making a lot of things happen. This evening we're honoring a young man, Zakir Roberson, who has won the Nationals. He's also over the summer he set a world record in the long jump.
Wow.
For a 10-year-old. Okay, so everything is broken down by age groups. Behind me here we have a couple people that are responsible for a lot of the development that he's been able to come along and do. One of our coaches that's not here, Phil Anderson, has also played an intricate part in making this happen. And your wife, she's one of our coaches, and a young man named Chip. His name is Chip. Most people know him as Chip. His real name is Walden Lester.
Okay.
All right, but he does a great job of conditioning and helping and recognizing the different phases of running technique and putting all the things in the proper running motion. Behind me is Mr. Nehemiah Kent and his wife Dawn, who are excellent coaches in their own right, and are athletes and former athletes, and Dawn is still getting it done right now, competing all around the country. And of course, more responsible for this young man than any of us is his mother, Taliba.
Awesome.
So again, we're just thankful that you found it within your heart to allow us to be here tonight and kind of share and celebrate the accomplishments of Zakir.
Awesome. I find it interesting that we don't celebrate people who are doing well. We celebrate them when they're dead and gone, but we're not celebrating a lot of people when they're alive. And in our community, it seems as though a lot of people are not happy simply because they're not being celebrated, simply because of lack. And when we have lack in anything, we tend to struggle. You know, and I thank God for athletics. I grew up being an athlete. I wasn't that good in track, but played other sports, you know. But at any rate, I mean, just to have that there for you and to have kids to be able to compete. I mean, I'm saying compete on a national level. I think that's awesome. And it gives other kids another idea or gives them a motivation to do, because I've noticed, I've been out to see you all practice. So trust me, TV land, that they are doing it, and they're not playing around. They practice hard and they persevere through it, in spite of. Sometimes we stop doing some of the things that we like to do because of their lack, because of I may not like the coach, I may not like the way that someone's talking to me, so we stop. So I appreciate the fact that you're doing what you do as far as the long jump, and I'm sure from seeing you run, the long jump's not the only event. This young man here, he's done a great job in the long jump, and the 100-yard dash,
and 200,
and the 200-yard dash.
Meters.
200. I'm sorry. You have to forgive me. This is live TV, but I want you to know that when I say the 100-yard dash, that gives you an indication of how old I am. I think they stopped the 100-yard dash years ago. I think. So it's 100 meters. So that's what 10 more yards than a 100-yard dash. Am I right or
close? Yeah.
Close. Okay. So I stand to be corrected. The 100 meters. So awesome. And what's your motivation, sir? What makes you, and I know that's a difficult question, what is it that you like about track and field?
My friends and family.
Your friend, okay.
And coaches. Mm-hmm. And some of my friends on other track teams.
Awesome. And you're the world champion right now in AAU and a 10-year-old. The world champion, how does that make you feel? Do you understand? People go all their lives and don't even get a state championship. And we're talking about a world championship. How does that make you feel? Do you realize the things that are coming for you? You have a lot that's going to happen. You just stay in there. You stick to it. So, I mean, you do the long jump. So what's your technique? What do you do? Or what motivates you to do so well at these sports? What is it? Talk to me.
My family motivates me, and coaches, and Coach Magic helps me fix my technique.
Oh, really? Good.
And the easiest part is running down the straightaway.
Running down the
long jump.
Wow. So where did you compete in the nationals this year?
Widener University.
Widener? Where else?
I forget.
Where did you all just come from? Detroit.
Detroit.
What's Detroit? I've never been to Detroit. Matt, you been to Detroit? Obviously.
This was the first time, yeah.
Did the rest of you go?
No,
You didn't go?
We went. Yeah.
How was it,
It
Mom?
was nice. It was
Really?
nice. Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you do to motivate this young man?
Oh, sometimes I just talk to him and tell him sometimes he has to just focus. And it's an art. And pretty much don't look at, as far as competition, he's his competition. That way he don't get in his head and start thinking, oh, well, I'm going against this person, he's faster than me. I said, work on beating your clock. If you beat, basically your time. If you focus on your time and your time gets faster, then focus on that, because you could be faster than someone else,
Sure.
On that day who's faster than you before. So that way he doesn't get all caught up into who's faster than him. So that way he focusing on, on himself.
So Zakir, right? So you're 10 years old. How old were you when you first started running track?
I was
been
6.
a long time ago. How old?
I was 6.
6. What grade are you in?
I'm in 4th, going to 5th.
5th. What school do you attend?
I go to Brookside. Now I'm going to West Park.
Where?
I went to Brookside.
And where are you going now?
West Park.
West Park. Awesome. How's your grades?
Grades?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you want to make the honor roll every year and do your best in school, because scholarships will come. Every parent in the world wants their child and or children to win scholarships so they don't have to pay money for their kids to go to college. So stay in there and spite of, because it's going to be a lot of obstacles that come up against you, as it is, as it comes up against us too, but you have to persevere. A lot of kids in our community, because of different things that happen in their lives, they're not focused on running track. They're not focused on making the honor roll. They're not focused on doing a lot of good things. And one of the things they focus on is eating. A lot of kids are starving, you know. So a lot of kids may look up to you. I know my son even looks up to you, you know, Stephen, and look up to you because of what you do. And you want to get that a whole lot. You probably don't understand it now, but trust me, it's coming, you know. So, Magic, why have you been coaching so long, and what's your motivation, sir?
Well, I just love the sport. And I love working with young people. I've started this program, or started the initial program, which was the Wilmington Track Club, which I'm the founder of that, and also the founder of the Higher Heights Track Club. But it started out as a need it was during a time when the schools had cut out sports.
Sure.
So one of the things that I was working with my daughter, Mela, and there was a bunch of kids that saw me working with her, and they decided that they wanted to do it, so we formed the club. So as a result of that, we've been able to, over the years, see a lot of kids come through these programs and really benefit academically, socially, emotionally. So that keeps me going. It kind of keeps me feeling a little connected to the youth,
Sure.
and it keeps me moving. I say right now I'm in the late in the fourth quarter of life, and it keeps me fresh.
Awesome.
All right, so I just love doing it, basically.
I think when you're in the fourth quarter, I think that's a good
Late.
time.
Late in the fourth quarter, yeah.
I mean, it's awesome because it gives you the opportunity. So you could probably say that you retired from something, or some things. I mean, and I don't know what it's like to retire, and I probably would not be able to retire because I have young kids. So I know I'm going to be working for years. But I mean, in retirement, I mean, and to still do what you enjoy, your first love. Magic started out as he was one of my coaches for the Trojans football team, you know, years ago. So he's been around, and kids, you need to really connect with Mr. Off the Magic, because I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. You will not go wrong. This man loves children. He looks out for the city of Wilmington. He probably know all of your parents and their parents.
And could I just before we? I just
Sure.
want to add, Dawn and Nehemiah. They're great, great people and great coaches. It allows me at this point to a lot of things that I was able to do when I was a lot younger. I can't do now. So people like Connie, Nehemiah, Jessica, Phil, and all them guys, they can come in and kind of demonstrate and do the things. These old knees won't handle it.
I heard that. And that's good, because the way you all reach out with kids, to the kids, and that has to make you feel good. It's like giving back, and we need more people to give back to the communities and to help them to soar, because Stephen's coming up too. So, I'm not hating. but look, show Wilmington your medal. Look, can we see it? I mean, that's a world. Wow.
Yeah, turn it around, big guy.
Look at that. So that comes from hard work, perseverance, and just being a good kid. So you have a lot of good things going to happen to you. Just stay in there, hang in there, in spite of. I'm telling, and when I say in spite of anything that can come up against you, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay focused. Stay focused. Any words from our coaches that's still running around the world? You know, I know at one of the track meets they had the parent. What was it? The
Parent relay.
The parent relay, and it seems like no other parents have run. So maybe I may get out there one of these days, and I ran a 16 flat. So, so any words?
Well, I am really honored to even be a part of Higher Heights as a coach, just to see the kids as they develop, you know, they come in and sometimes their heads are down because they don't think they're doing well. And there's an instance where you see a spark. You see a spark in their eyes and they finally get it and they understand, you know, and it's a good thing, especially with what's going on these days, to have that and to know that you're reaching someone is really great.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Nehemiah, Dawn's husband, as everybody, you know, kind of know. It's just like, yeah, oh, you're Dawn's husband. Yeah, Coach Dawn's husband. Well, when Coach Magic, he asked me, he said, hey, you know, would you consider coming through and you know, helping out with the program? My wife and I took some time off from coaching because coaching is very intensive. And I mean, to be a good coach and not just a coach that's just holding a clipboard and a you know, stopwatch, but someone that's actually looking to develop that individual child. And no matter how many people you have, but developing that individual, it takes quite a bit. But a friend of mine said, if it doesn't cost you anything, it's not a sacrifice. So we sacrifice. The coaches, you get out there, the parents, they get out there and they run up and down the road. And we really appreciate that. And when you see that, and that's one of the things that people don't see. When they see our parent support system that we have, and you yourself, Steve, you know, it's phenomenal. You feed off of that energy, and it keeps you young. It keeps Coach Magic, you know, he's what, 42 now, you know what I mean? So it's like, it keeps you young. It keeps that youth thing going. So really appreciate being a part of everything that's being done. It's not just Zycare, it's our whole team, you know, and they all support him, and they all go after, and they all root him on and everything, and he's doing it for them as well. And the biggest thing about our kids, they're very humble, extremely humble, and very teachable. So I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you all. Do you have one more?
Yeah, I just want to say
go ahead, man.
one more thing.
Sure.
Coach indicated that it's just not Zycare. Zycare was the most accomplished athlete this year, but one of the things that really is a tribute to the coaches that I've named. Every kid that came out for our program is better than when they started.
Yeah.
So and that's our focus, is to make sure that we are focusing on every individual and make sure that they get what they need. Everybody's not going to develop at the same level. Everybody's not going to. Some people are going to get a different experience out of it, but it needs to be a positive experience, and that's what we're committed to doing.
Well, I appreciate you all for coming on and talking about Higher Heights track and field, and I think it's a great motivator for our kids. It gives them an opportunity and gives them something to look forward to. I'm hoping that maybe you all can even participate in some indoor track and field as well. I believe, I heard that they have AAU indoor, but I'm not sure of that. Yeah. But I really, really, truly appreciate you, and you have a lot of kids looking up to you. Congratulations on your success, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come.
Thank
10
you.
years old. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Wow. So I appreciate you. We're going to go to a break, and don't touch that dial. HBCU Delaware Talks. Thank you for tuning in this evening. We're here with the August Quarterly Committee, or the Legends of August Quarterly. How about if I said that right? Mr. Moon and Mr. Hiram, and we'll just tell you a little bit about what's going on next week. For August Quarterly is the oldest religious ceremony, the religious African American festival ever.
In
In
the
fact, HBCUs was a part of the black church. So, Moon, in your own way, come on in. Come on.
Well, August Quarterly means so much to me. Got to carry on this rich history. You look at me, myself, I'm 78 years old, and I've been working with the August Quarterly ever since I was 17 years old. Wow. This year, really with hands-on, be 60 years that I've been doing this, and over 20 years as chairperson. Sometimes I want to give up, but I know how much it means to our community and to the state of Delaware, the county, and the city of Wilmington. And my daughter was saying, Dad, because she's been on your show, Renita, and she says that, Dad, you done brought us this far. It's time for the younger people to step up to the plate.
That's right.
I have no problem with that. But you take yourself, who's been with the program for a while, and Hiram, who's been with us for a while, and you take guys like you all, you'll know what it means to the community to have this rich history to continue. And the younger people just don't, I don't know what it is. They don't, just like with the college.
Sure.
All right? They might go to college, but when you roll back to the scroll and ask them about, their experiences, and then you got the individuals who want to volunteer to help so many things in the city of Wilmington. After they find out the work that you have to put in, they disappear.
Yeah.
So we stay on board to make sure this thing happens. August Quarterly, I love it. I love it. I've done a lot of things in my life: Little League football, semi-pro football, counseling for the YMCA, counseling for the Wilmington Police Department, but August Quarterly is number one on my list.
Awesome.
Yeah, Hiram came on years ago, and he's been a blessing. Every I is dot, every comma after every sentence. I mean, he's done it all. He makes sure the money's right, and he sees, he looks out ahead of everybody else. Don't plan it if you don't have it in your hands, because if you don't have the money in your hand to do the job, then you're going to fall down every time. A lot of people don't realize that August Quarterly, it takes something like 57,000
Yep, somewhere
in
around
order to pull August Quarterly off every year. And this year we're short. So we're only doing like the festival part of it. It's just one day that we will celebrate. We'll be in the park Saturday, and we'll be doing our work and everything. But as far as the festival itself, Sunday the 27th, that one day. But we have the revivals that start this coming Sunday. Is it this Sunday? Yes, this Sunday.
This Sunday, opening.
The
opening
20th.
revival.
We'll open up on French Street under the big tent, putting up the big tent, and Reverend Amos is going to come over from St. Paul, and he's going to bring his choir, his ushers, and the whole St. Paul's family. So we're looking for every bit of 300, maybe 400 people under that big tent. It's a big tent, and we're going to have a good time. But as far as doing this thing, we need all the help we can get. Reminds me of what you do. Every individual who graduated from college just give up $1.
$1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
A pay.
Yeah.
If
That's what I'm saying.
You get paid bi-weekly, that's 26 pays.
Yeah.
If you get paid every week, $52, that's $52. $1 a pay.
Yes. And these are the things that we go through with all your dedication, our dedication, these things we go through. A lot of times we have to reach in our own pockets, all right, in order to get the job done.
Yes.
Make it work.
But Hiram will tell you about the financial part, and tell them about Hiram, what we need and what we have to do.
Well, I'm not going to talk about what we need right now. I'm just going to say I want to make sure you're down at the park on Saturday, August 27th. That's like Mr. Moon said, we're going to do one day this year.
That's fine.
The traditional August Quarterly down at the park, Riverfront Park, next to the train station. Make sure you come down.
Right.
We're going to be there starting at 2 o'clock to 8 p.m. with a lot of good gospel music.
Good.
Make sure you're coming down there.
Good.
Bring your family. We're going to have things for the children to do, vending out and so forth. But just so you know who's coming, just for those who are wondering who's coming down this year,
Sure.
we got Pastor David Wright out of New York City.
Yeah.
He's going to bring the New York Fellowship Choir down from Brooklyn, New York, you know. And then we also had a Virginia Airs coming out from Virginia, obviously. And then, of course, we have the August Fully Festival Choir, which is made up of many, many choirs throughout the city of Wilmington under the direction of Wayne Carter. You know, they bring the noise. You know, the August Fully Festival Choir comes to make an event this year. So, and as well, we got a host coming up. We got Tawana Ricks. She's going to bring her crowd this year. And Apostle Linda Henry. They're going to be our hosts this year.
Okay.
But come down to the park August 27th and enjoy. Bring your family down. Sure. Bring your tent out. Bring out your chairs. And make sure you bring your chairs now, because don't forget, we don't provide chairs now. So bring your chair,
Yes, sir.
sit out in there, enjoy yourself a good day in the park. Go over to the vendors, get something good to eat, because I heard the vendor list. We got some Caribbean food coming up. We got all kind of different foods coming up.
Good.
It's going to be a good time in the park this year.
Awesome. I'm excited. And you know, I always try to get that HBCU crowd to come because,
Right,
you know, we
right,
came from the black church.
Right.
It's hard. I'm not going to give up, although you get tired.
That's right.
You know, but I'm going to tell you right now, what's going on in our country, it's going to take the church, it's going to take those HBCUs, it's going to take those folks to actually make this change for the better.
Right.
In spite of how I may feel about anybody, we have to do this together. You know, we got to get past some of our barriers,
That's right.
which are subtraction. You know, we get caught on things or differences,
Right.
and when we talk about differences, we're subtracting each other out instead of growing. We have more things similar or in common than we
That's
do
right.
different.
That's
So
right.
we have to really tell you, Wilmington, we have to really, really begin to focus on togetherness, one love. You know,
That's right,
And,
right.
and because of God, the greater, you know, in us, that the God that's in us, we have to really exemplify what He's given us, and we have to be involved. I mean, we're struggling.
Yes, we are.
Our community's struggling.
Yes.
But August Coley is here to celebrate religious freedom.
Yes.
This is the time to come out, no matter what your background, what your religion is, because
out.
say I'm free under the name of God.
That's
Because
right.
He freed us all.
And we're building we kingdom build.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only way. We getting caught up in what everything looked like instead of really getting caught up in togetherness,
Right.
how it really is. Everything that's happening in our community, everything that's happening in our country, it's not by accident.
Right.
It's happening to draw love, the greater love. And until we get that, it's going to continue. You know, it's easier to love than it is to hate.
Oh yeah. I had a chance at the museum to
Sure.
speak to the different high school kids from different schools, and a few from University of Delaware were down there, and I spoke to them, and just what you said, we're in this struggle, but the struggle we're in, we have to come together. We all have problems, you know, but one of the things, like with you, for instance, and me and Harm, we realize God has given us a charge.
Right.
All right. And we owe that to the master.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So if we can pull together, it's always a thing like with us with August Corley. Somebody will always stop by, want to volunteer, how can I help? Right? And that's one of the things we have to say to, you know, each other. Like say what you do, and well, you're on board anyhow. You're part of our
Right,
committee.
right.
You know, you came in, what was it now, 2 years, 3 years?
This is my third year, by the way.
Yeah, third year. And you came, when he came in the door, he said, how can I help?
Yeah.
And you've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and we got to get stronger.
Right.
I mean, we give up too easy.
Right.
You
right.
know, and if everything was easy to get to, everybody would have it. So we're selected, and that's why it's so much of a struggle, especially financially. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? We can't let finances stop us.
Nope. And that's why we're continuing this year.
That's right.
And we got 1 day this year, but guess
That's
what?
okay.
Next year we're going to be back 2 years, like 2 days, Saturday and Sunday we have. Saturday is our youth day, empowering the youth. Sunday is our traditional day of
Right.
August Cooley.
Good.
But if you want to fund us now, you can go to the website, augustcooley.org. There's a blue button on there. Just press that blue button. It'll give you the opportunity to support August Cooley. You can spread it to your friends on Facebook. You can pay by PayPal,
Sure.
contribute, and make sure that you continue this cause, because this is the longest running festival in the nation, longest running African American folk festival in the nation. We as citizens of Wilmington need to keep that going.
That's right.
Yeah, you're
And
talking
there's
about
no-
204 years. What has lasted that long?
Nothing, not much.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no iron will. But I'm gonna thank you, good gentlemen, for coming on to talk a little bit about August Cooley. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
So, Pastor, if you don't see me in church Sunday, you know why. I'm gonna go to a commercial, and again, don't touch that dial. Welcome back to HBCU Delaware Talks, and thank you for allowing we to tune into or be in your living room this evening. I am so excited of the guests that are here. They are here tonight. Let me stop messing with you all. Thank you. Listen, historically black colleges and universities, One of the reasons why I founded a historically black college or HBCU Delaware Coalition simply is because we need to really band together to make a change in the country. Black colleges, we are family because of what we have experienced on the campus, on the yard, in the CAF, in the dorm. People that you may have met, people that you meet, we all have experienced a common bound when we're in college. That's graduate. I mean, we have some people that's in college for like maybe 17 years, but they graduate. See, that's the most important thing. But the reason why there's the HBCU Delaware Coalition, and I want to read this prior to even introducing you all, is because the HBCU Delaware Coalition is here to establish camaraderie and a support system among HBCU graduates and friends. You don't have to be a graduate, but you can be a friend and be a part. Secondly, to promote advancement of historically black colleges and university alumni initiatives. Speaking of which, an initiative. Keep in mind, we're going to talk about an HBCU initiative that may be coming your way soon. Third, to encourage HBCU enrollment amongst local students by reaching out to parents, students, and guidance counselors at local elementary, middle, and high schools. This is all coming, see, this is coming together. To increase community awareness of HBCU alumni. We have so many alumni here in Delaware, in Wilmington, and we want to increase the awareness. How are we going to do it? Together, not in silos, but together. What do you think? Also, we want to support existing organizations and or initiatives that share our mission to promote HBCU advancement. And the last but not least is to support HBCUs. We have students all over the country that attend HBCUs. We have a lot of students from Wilmington, Delaware, who have lack when they're in college. It's okay to go to an HBCU. It's not okay to go to HBCU and be hungry. And sometimes we want to generate scholarship money for that person that is starving, that person that lives in a dorm but he can't afford a meal plan, that person whose parent is sickly here at home but they can't get home. We know about the book scholarships. Our alumni chapters, they do that. You know, Norfolk State Alumni Chapter, sure, we generate scholarship money. But together, we have one HBCU in Delaware, Delaware State University, and we would like to help support those students as well. So, going forward, I'd like to introduce Ms. Ashley Christopher, Mr. Earl Cooper, and Mr. I'm sorry, sir. Say your name again, sir.
Julani Ghana.
Julani Ghana.
Yes, sir.
And we just want to talk about some good old things that may be happening in Wilmington, hopefully, and what it is that you did and why you attended an HBCU. So, tell me a little bit about Howard University and why did you attend Howard University, Ms. Christopher? Look at this.
Okay, so I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, and I went to high school at a school called Padua Academy. So it was all white, me and a small group of my friends. We called ourselves Little Africa because it was like maybe 5 or 6 black women in our graduating class. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just wanted something different. Like my parents always made sure that even though I went to that school for high school, sure, that they kind of inserted me into inner city activities. So I was in and out of the city limits of Wilmington, but when I went to school, it was like almost nobody looked like me. Wow. So when I started looking at colleges, it was between Spelman and Howard. But after going to Padua, which is an all-girls school, for 4 years, I quickly changed my number one option, which was from Spelman to Howard. And I went to visit, and I was sold.
Wow.
My sister also went to Howard University, so I went and stayed with her during homecoming season. And I also went on a college tour. We visited maybe 5 or 6 different colleges, but Howard, I mean, nothing compared, and it was the best decision I made in my life.
Wow, and I thank God for Howard University. They say Howard is the mecca of HBCUs.
They aren't lying.
They're
not lying.
They're not lying. Howard's the mecca.
Yeah,
very
sure.
nice school. And I think they talk about Hampton a little bit, but there's no comparison, is there?
Well, this is just a friendly, friendly debate. Like, we're all brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Right. Black colleges and universities, we all have the same initiative and goal. Uh-oh.
It's great fall over. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
That's when it falls. It's okay. So, Mr. Cooper, tell me a little bit about yourself, sir. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Steve. Happy to be here. Yeah, HBCUs play a big role in my life. I went to Morehouse College, found out about it on the internet. Just kind of researching. Started off at Wilmington University and was looking for other options, and ran into Morehouse. And as she said, went down there. Similar experience. Went down there for homecoming, and was just completely sold on the opportunity that it presented. I'd never been in such an environment where, you know, everybody was coming together that looked like me, and all excited about, you know, education, and the history and the tradition, and so I was just immediately sold. And I remember, you know, calling my dad like, "Hey, I'm coming here." So I went and visited that fall in October, and literally I transferred. The next semester I was enrolled. That January I was enrolled. So that's how just got the ball rolling.
And once upon a time, because of people like you with Morehouse College, I mean, very few people from Wilmington would go to Morehouse.
Okay.
And now it's growing, you know.
Yeah, there's a nice young group of kids. I was at an event at the Achievement Center that the campus had. They had, I believe, one or two young men or a young man that decided to go to Morehouse as well, and I've come across quite a few of them as well right now, currently.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
Sure. Again, Jelani Ghana. I'm the director of the College Access Center of Delaware County, and you know we're your partner to the north in Pennsylvania. And as the director of the center, you know, our goal is to meet young people like Ashley and this young man right here, to inspire them clearly to pursue, you know, post-secondary. And at the pinnacle of that is, for many students, the HBCU experience. You know, with all the technology that's available, it's still amazing that young men like you have to find out about these amazing institutions, you know, on the internet. And so we have to educate oftentimes the college guidance counselors about the history and the power. You know, there's so many prominent African Americans in the society, and oftentimes we hear about their PhD from Harvard or Michigan, but we don't realize that, you know, well over 80% of the most prominent Africans living in the United States did their undergraduates at the HBCUs. And so with coalitions like what you're doing here in the state of Delaware, and the surrounding states are being inspired by the work that you're doing here in Delaware, and they're beginning to form these HBCU coalitions. And as a community partner, you know, serving, you know, Chester, Pennsylvania, and those areas, one of the things that's, you know, very important to us is that as we're looking at school choice, we want students clearly to pursue post-secondary in any career that they want. But we certainly want, particularly for those students of African descent, but really any student in America, we really want them to learn about these amazing traditions, because you cannot get those unique experiences anywhere else in America. And so at the College Access Center, right on the campus of Widener University, we do a lot of promoting of HBCUs to our students.
You see, there's a reason why this gentleman's here, because with the HBCU initiative that it will be coming up in September, I want to say the third week in September, working on the days, we're working on logistics for the HBCU initiative. But in Wilmington, we're not promoting HBCUs in the schools. So I thank you coming from the city of Wilmington and heard something about the HBCU Delaware Coalition, and just to share your HBCU experience, although, you know, these two, they do work with the city of Wilmington in the mayor's office under Mike Pazicki, our mayor. But the fact is that to show that HBCU spirit within the city of Wilmington, I think it's great. It's a great idea. And I really appreciate you all for just even saying, you know what, that just might work. Let's do an initiative. Let's see what happens. So right now we're in the planning stages of the HBCU initiative, and we want everybody to come on out. We're working on a couple days. What do we have planned so far? Because I don't want to say HBCU is mine. There's no I in we, so it's a we coalition. So what is there? What do we have planned at this point in time?
So the mayor's office, we decided to support Steve Washington's nonprofit organization, HBCU Delaware Coalition.
Yes.
We're going to have a week-long of events, starting with a community day, where we will have a proclamation presentation. We are designating the month of September as HBCU month. in the city of Wilmington. Following that, we are going to have, we're going to visit high schools in Newcastle County. We're going to round up their junior and senior population, speak to them about our HBCU experience, because one thing in the mayor's office, there are a lot of HBCU alumni. Our chief of staff, Mrs. Tanya Washington, went to Norfolk State.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Howard University. I'm special assistant to the mayor. Mr. Cooper went to Morehouse. Our special events planner also went to Howard. A member of our communications team went to Hampton University. So we couldn't let, that conglomerate or body of people that are working together in the mayor's office that have graduated from these prestigious institutions go unnoticed. So we decided to come together to support your nonprofit organization in promoting how important it is to consider HBCUs in higher education, because a lot of people don't realize or remember or even know that after the American Civil War, in some jurisdictions we weren't allowed to matriculate into white institutions, so we had to establish our own, and so that's something to consider to continue to promote excellence in attending. And to be frank, professional Black America is largely run by HBCU graduates at the undergraduate level. So we just want to make sure that people know and understand that the city of Wilmington supports HBCU education, and we are going to continue to demonstrate that, at least in this administration.
Wow. Enough said. Wow. And it's a good thing. I mean, you'd be surprised. We have a lot of, even in the church community, we have a lot of HBCU pastors. And what bothers me is that we will not, well, I'm not going to say that because it's beginning to happen, and it's a matter of putting the word out, but we haven't yet come together as one, to promote historically Black colleges and universities, to promote our brothers and sisters who have graduated and are doing well, as yourselves, from HBCUs, because that kid out there that has Channel 28 is saying, you know what, because you're here on the show, saying, I'm considering HBCU. You'd be surprised. I think we had like 30 kids go to Norfolk State this year alone because of Norfolk State Alumni Chapter, here in Delaware. Morehouse College, a lot of kids are going. You'd be surprised. Howard, everyone goes to Howard University. Everyone can't get into Howard. Look at Tiffany Howard.
Yeah, correct that. You gotta.
Yeah, but I mean, and really, it's nothing like an HBCU experience. In fact, some people can't even go to an HBCU. So schools such as Norfolk State University, since you can't attend Norfolk State, you can actually go online. And if you look at my shirt, it says Norfolk State Online. Of course, we had a conversation earlier when you said that we're not pledged. You said, well, because it would be 2 words. I get it. But Norfolk State Online, if you can't afford to go to college should come to you, right in your living room. So if you could show the you can actually look at the Norfolk State Online, and then if you look at the back of the shirt, I'm not going to get up, but on the back of the shirt, you're going to see that you can scan it. So if you want to scan me, you just scan me, and then it'll bring up all the lovely things about the Norfolk State University. So I am very excited about it being online. I'm excited about you all being here, because I mean, it's huge. It's been like 3 years with HBCU Delaware Coalition, 4 years with Norfolk State Alumni Chapter, and this is 3 years with the show. And it costs a lot of money for the show, but we're hanging in there, and we're going to keep praising God for allowing it to happen. What else? What else is going on that week? You said the college fair?
I didn't say the college fair. We're having a college fair.
What did you say?
The
Visiting the schools.
to the high schools in Newcastle County, the community day. We are going to have a college fair, and we're pushing to have a financial aid literacy seminar in conjunction or in concert with the college fair.
Wow. See where you come in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a reason. we connect dots, and once we connect these dots, they begin to expand into a big picture. Are you going to be happy hour of some sort?
Yes, we're working on that. We're working on that.
We should do a happy hour. What do you think? I mean, a happy hour, that's going to draw people. I mean, a big thing is that we would like to generate scholarship money to help support some student. May not be this year, but to generate the money and begin to generate finances is going to help a student that attends any HBCU. We also would like to reach out to Delaware State somehow and see how we can support Delaware State, because why do we have Delaware State in Dover, but yet in Wilmington there's no connection? We have to have this connection somehow. So if we ask Delaware State Band to come up here in March or during one of the parades during the Christmas time, maybe they just may come. You know, so this is a good thing. I'm excited. Are you excited a little bit, just a tad bit?
Sure.
You know what? This gentleman too, Mr. Cooper. I don't know if you all know Earl Cooper. Earl Cooper wears his tie and everything all the time now. Finally, I said, man, if you don't come dressed down, I'm going. But Earl's he's a very, very good. You may know him now because what he does for the city, but I understand you're a very good golf player. You play golf.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about the golf. And where did you learn golf, and why do you not talk about golf and whatever you do with these books? And I'm finding out so many different things about you. But tell me a little bit about golf.
No, thank you. So I started playing golf at the age of 6 years old. Got serious around the age of 12. Won a national skills competition. And so it was right here in Wilmington as well where I got exposed to the game. Had a golf scholarship at Wilmington University, and then moved that to Morehouse College, where we actually won the PGA National Minority Championship my 2010, my junior year. Turned pro, did that for a little bit, and most recently I was the golf professional at Wilmington Country Club, or assistant golf pro at Wilmington Country Club the last 2 years. So golf plays a huge part in my life. I love the game. I think that, you talk about exposure, you talk about the lack of minority presence.
Sure.
That's definitely one of those things, and so that's one of the things that I'm passionate about, is growing the game. I challenge everyone to define the game on your own. I think too often we let other people define what golf is. So someone says golf is boring, and you're like, oh, that's what you're going to say. Well, I challenge you in 2017 to go out there and experience it yourself. And lastly, you also mentioned I write children's books as well. And that passion came out of finding Morehouse College on the internet. And so I just started to think, I'm at Morehouse, how do you become a part of this great legacy and help other kids that are maybe in the same predicament, maybe better or worse. And so I did that by writing my first children's book about Morehouse College called Hello Maroon Tiger. The second one is about Howard University, ironically, and the third one is Delaware State. So, and I happen to have all three with me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank
And then I want to say one more thing. Howard, what's your field? What's your major?
My major was administration of justice.
And now you are?
Now I'm an attorney.
Attorney. I had to put that out there. So we have people doing great things in Wilmington, Delaware, and we want to promote you. We want to promote what you do and show these kids that it can be done. Thank you very much, Wilmington. Thank you all for coming on to the show this evening. I appreciate you. I look forward to this making. Thank you. You don't understand. I'm excited. Thank you for all that you're doing in the lives of people. Thank you, City of Wilmington. Thank you, HBCU Delaware Coalition. Thank you, guests. Have a good evening.